Hey, this is Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com. Another perspective. And I got my boy on the side.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Peace and love. This your boy, Chris Davis, a.k.a. Smooth Cuts. And you tune in on another perspective.
Yeah. Well, we have hot topics today. I've been gone for the last couple of weeks. I've been having my own personal endeavors, but I'm here. I'm alive and well. Can't keep a real soldier down. It's a lot of things that's been going on since I've been MIA for a while. First and foremost, we have this Donald Punk, you know what I'm saying? And the things has arisen. And I wanted to talk about this a couple of weeks when he called Africa asshole of a country. And I really wanted to get into that because if it wasn't for Africa, you wouldn't be having what you have today. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the history. If he knew the history of what Africa was all about, we wouldn't be slaves. He will be the slave. You know what I'm saying? So when he, desecrated the African continent and singled out Nigerian people, African people, whatever.
Almost the whole nation of Africa, of the continent. Remember, this Trump of your called president stating that Africa was a country.
Right.
Newsflash: Africa is a continent. So, do you think that we're going to follow this president to lead this country into the right direction? I think not.
No, he just showed that he was racist.
He's showing his true colors.
He showed that he's racist. He's insensitive to women. He has
a demeaning character as well.
But if you put him in the box with an average black man one-on-one, he'd punk out. He'd be asking for security. Because he can talk on television and try to front for the American people
and be on Twitter and all types of stuff
and fake news this and fake news that. You're trying to corrupt the investigation on him, trying to get rid of Mueller and anybody that's in that seat that want to even investigate him. He have people in his staff that's disrespecting and have racist undertones. Your whole Democratic Party is divided because of you. You know what I'm saying? One thing I can say, we can agree to disagree on both sides. And both sides have some issues that I like and some that I don't like.
Give us a perspective on that.
Okay. I don't want to be critical to no race of people. But I had this discussion. A black person said to me, well, I'm not mad at Trump when he don't want to let them illegals come in. And I'm like, that's racist because this supposed to be the land of the free. People should be able to come and be a part of this and live this American dream.
An American has a big opportunity.
Right. But then the other part to that question or to that conversation that we had, if we keep letting these illegals in, then they take the jobs and get cut. They'll take an underpay to cut us out. So they call us lazy. Okay. And I had to analyze that because I'm like, at the same time, I don't want Mexicans and anybody that's not white already get stumped on in America. Even if it's in schooling, education, monies, or whatever the case may be. But then I understood why, because she's saying that they take all the jobs and we can't fight for the money that we supposed to get and deserve to get because they take an undercut money.
Right.
Just to let Felipe and everybody else get a job. They all live together, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything that's racist undertone, but sometimes when you're dealing with them as Mexicans or Puerto Ricans, they always come in a pack with family at these companies. And I understood that.
And you're right about that because, again, as you were saying about the race thing, it's like it's funny when you mention about it. It's like different races such as the Hispanics and the Caucasians and the Asians, they come together. But why is that we as a us people can come together as one?
No,
Because
I mean, I was talking about that, but I'm in the sense of in the job field
right,
where they we can if we can come together because you got too much separatism, envy, and greed and jealousy.
especially the jealousy part.
Yeah,
And we was talking about that last week about that on the radio
yeah,
show.
about jealousy
Yeah,
and in the workplace you have certain in our own. I'm dealing with that now. Where a black woman is in a position to make you or break you in this job. And when you have that much power and you using it for your own gain and your own, throwing a doggy bone at somebody, what goes up must come down. First and foremost, just like I told this young lady before she got fired, I say, listen, while you trying to throw people up under the bus, somebody throwing you up under the bus too. So watch yourself,
and
mind your business, do your job. See, I'm type, if I was the type of person that wasn't, I was lazy on the job and I wasn't doing nothing, I'm getting a free check or stealing time. When you don't do nothing at all day for 8 hours, you stealing time to me. I can understand you work a little bit and you finesse it a little bit. I understand everybody had their highs and lows. But when it comes down to us as black people sticking together in these workplace places, when you're in these unions, the SEIU, just to bring that up, we are a nation of people that don't do that. And that's wrong because
I
if
agree.
all these other nationalities and other races of people, they might not even like each other. But when it comes for a common cause, they stick up for each other in the door.
You know that I experienced that with the when I was working with the soccer game at the Soldier Field, and I've been doing my job real well, and all these white people they just stick together. It's majority like 80 some percent whites, 50% Hispanics, and about at least 12 to 25% is blacks. And they always want to point out the ones that you're doing wrong as a of our kind.
Right.
Oh, he's on his phone too much, or he's lollygagging. I don't want him. But here I
Or
am.
they say we lazy. No.
Right.
Yes, I have dealt with people that was lazy.
Because they always stick together.
Right. But at the end of the day, if that was your coworker and you know what we up against, you supposed to pull a coattail. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. It ain't no third time because you out the door.
Exactly.
But I had the liberty to be a union stewardess. I've been granted that job to be a union stewardess. And I was just talking to Earl earlier, and I was like, when I got up in the meeting, I was able to talk. I say, listen, you hear my voice? I said, I'm not screaming at you. This is how I talk. I said, the only way I can fight for you, you got to fight for yourself first. That means don't get yourself caught up in something that's so minute that somebody can use it as a knife to get you. I don't have no problem stepping up and fighting for your job, especially if it's just. But I would not fight for anybody that ain't fighting for themselves. That means you're not doing your area responsibility. You have your own union comrades telling you you need to do this and do this.
Right.
So if something go down, don't call the union stewardess and think he's gonna be the first line of defense. Because I'm gonna pull your coattail again. Remember when I told you to do your job? Now I'm gonna fight and see if I can smooth it over.
It's a flashback moment.
But yeah, flashback. So at the end of the day, we are a race of people that needs to start sticking together, start fighting for equality, respect within our own race of people.
Right.
That don't mean you have to go out there and fight. Check them. You can slash somebody's, intelligence. You don't have to slash them physically. That's why you have a mouthpiece. And if you don't have a mouthpiece, that means shut up and keep it moving. You got to have thick skin. Stop trying to sell out your people that's right next to you, and define yourself as being defiant
Right.
in what you do. I don't care if he was the dishwasher, be the best dishwasher. I don't care if you shine the shoes. I did it all. So I'm not oblivious to nobody's how they be able to walk that line. Once you get in the job, it's up to you to keep your job. You got to be relevant. You got to learn the store, learn the business, learn the factory, learn everything. If you can ear hustle, you can eye hustle. You can watch people how they do certain things to get that little trait. And then when you confident enough to do it, you can be able to do it yourself.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to be smart. That's all I had to say about that.
Well, I'm glad.
In that, I wanted to segue into this one, and then I'm gonna let you get the floor.
Okay. Well, you done with on that end. Well, okay. Well, again, you guys are watching on IntellectualRadio.com. Hashtag another perspective. Today we actually, I know a lot of viewers ain't probably paying attention on Facebook Live because of the Super Bowl. Yeah. But right now, I'm looking at the score. Right now, the Eagles are up 22-12 at halftime.
Okay.
So we'll see how long that's going to be. So my perspective on that game. Give me your perspective on the outcome of that.
I really don't care.
Tom Brady going to do an outcome of it again like last year?
If he trying to get 6 rings for like Michael Jordan.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, football ain't like it used to be. Right now it's a video game. And really, I'm not really watching it because actually it ain't Chicago. So
I agree.
I really don't care who wins. I think the Patriots might pull it off, come back.
Well, it's halftime, though.
It's halftime, so you got another
half.
You never know. You know what I'm saying? So if he came back from that other game, you best believe he's going to pull out all
last year. Oh, my God.
So, woohoo, Pat. But at the end of the day, I don't care.
But I tell you one thing: the best Super Bowl moment was the Bears against the Indiana Colts. We were supposed to win that game.
Yeah, and we got
when Devin Hester came in and do that 100 yards dash to the touchdown. That was the most exciting thing ever.
Yeah. Well, that's enough on that football game. Anyway, this is Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective. I want to segue to this. A few days ago, I saw something very disturbing on Facebook in my inbox, where this grown man was letting this baby do oral sex on her.
Yeah,
that outraged me, and it outraged me because I wanted to kill this dude and do 50 years easy with a smile. Because for you to denigrate that little baby with barrettes in her head, and he's see, I looked at the video and I analyzed the video. It was another person in there,
and I saw the video too, and that was very disturbing. Like it could have been somebody's daughter. And also,
it's my daughter because I got girls. What you mean? Any child that's the age of your child, that is your child.
Right.
It takes a village. So I don't care who. It could be my worst enemy. I don't care. You, the baby, man.
I know that's
a baby.
That's a baby.
And my point to making of that, any 2 times, if you watch this, what I wanted to say. If you watch that, Listen.
I didn't got heated.
You watch the video, and if you watch it real close, it was somebody else on the side of him that pushed his hand away. Y'all saw it. I don't have to explain the video. Y'all know what it is if they ain't deleted it. It was somebody on the side of him that pushed this man's hand away from that little baby's head. If you look at it, it was real quick. Somebody had to point it out to me. And my thing is, your punk ass, I'm sorry, gonna videotape this like it was a joke? And you sitting up there just letting this baby do this? You deserve to be killed. Street justice. Why waste the taxpayers' money going to court? Oh, I'm temporary insane. Oh, I have a sex addiction. I don't care what you have. A child is off limits.
Absolutely.
A teenager is off limits.
Absolutely.
If they're at legal age and she's willing or he's willing, that ain't my business. But when you got this 3 and 4 year old girl
No, they
Man,
said she was 7.
no, man, that baby was smaller than no 7
Probably
years
like
old. You
5 or
know, that's
6.
hearsay. You know, just like I posted a video where they had his man shot up in his car. And I was so excited that they killed him. And that's a shame that I had to be excited for somebody to be killed. But then turn around, they just locked the dude up. So I'm looking at, some real fake news. But at the same time, they got him.
The guy that
They
did it.
got the guy.
That's good.
They got him. Because why would you put it?
What was going through his mind doing that 6 twisted stuff? Like,
But it was somebody in there. So
what was
whoever,
right? That's what I'm
whoever
saying.
all the 3 parties, the dude that did the act, the dude that video, and whoever was on the side of that man when he was doing the act, all of them need to be shot. They need to be castrated. Because one thing you don't do is mess with God's children, man.
Absolutely. At the end of the day,
That girl gonna be scarred. I got daughters, so and she grown. Both of them grown, and I can't imagine somebody even.
We know,
man. I would.
We know.
Anyway, go ahead, Chris. You can talk about that.
Well, I'll give it a little perspective on that. It's for one, that's totally wrong. Mm-hmm. That's totally disturbing. Like, what goes through your right mind for you to think you can just do such a demeaning, demonic thing like that? It's just, you just don't have no remorse for that. Mm-hmm. So you cold-hearted for that.
But where was the mother?
Well, right. Where was the father?
Was that the mother on the side, or was it his girlfriend? Because I don't care what it is.
At the same time,
all of them need to go. They don't need to breathe anymore.
They don't need to be on this earth no more. For them to do that foul act like that.
And then somebody had to pull my coattail because I you know how you be in the inbox and somebody share it to you.
Yes.
And you want to share it to them. But at the same time, somebody had to pull my coattails. Shout out to that person. You know what I'm saying? She said, you know what? Don't send that picture no more.
Yeah, that's very
because you're playing into child pornography.
Right.
When you share it. I say, you're right. If ain't nobody seen it, just know they got the man locked up. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't see it, don't see it because you're going to be outraged.
No, I was told about that, but I don't even want to look at the video. I cannot even imagine.
So the best thing for you to do, just because that has happened, now it's time to keep an eye on your little ones. It's time to be parents because this is Facebook. Yes, it's an optical illusion. It's a fantasy world of living. The whole 9, fake news, whatever, gossip, whatever. Everyday people on this and on that. But at the end of the day, if that's a world of internet and sharing and conversating, you still have to have that time to watch your kids.
Yeah,
you have to watch your kids. You got to watch your kids who they're around. I don't care if it was Uncle Sam, Bobby Lean. I don't care who it is. You watch your kids because if this man can have a baby, so whoever mother that child is, whoever her mother is, I want to know what gave you the audacity to give this man power to watch your kids. That's it.
Well, my thing with the single mothers or single parents, if you have kids that's in a relationship with another person, just be mindful of who you dating, of who you interact with at the end of the day.
Right.
Because you never know what their backgrounds is all along. But prior to that, we're going to skip on the next subject. Maurice Walls, a.k.a. Maurice Walls, couldn't make it tonight due to the fact of some
private
stuff. Whatever. But anyway, he left a comment that says we could discuss about the other people sticking noses in their family business. And also, yeah, you're right. Reese also said the internet has turned into Satan's den on many occasions. And that's so 100 with that, Reese. And I totally agree with that. But we're going to talk about the people sticking into other family members' business. So
that's gossip.
Oh, yeah. So give me your perception on that.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
Point. Mind your business. Don't worry about what your family doing, as long as it ain't in your household. Exactly. If everybody check their own household, and check your kids and be mindful who they talking to about family business. See, that's what starts the gossip, because you'll take that little one and you use that little one as your speakerphone, because that little one get over there and Mary Lane say that you fat and ugly and you ain't got a man. That baby don't know exactly what she talking about.
Right.
But
Or
see,
they can
that's the
argue
thing
about
that
the
you
last $5 that they owed,
right.
and then they
So
make
and
it a
they
big
and
assumptions.
they question them kids in a way where they can get certain answers so they can be able to get gossip and they can start rumors. Mind your business. Check your house. Make sure your kids is with people that's at least smart enough to mind a business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that goes with that. Family being another family business. First and foremost, is a difference between family business and just being nosy. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
If it's in your household and it's amongst the siblings that's in that household, let it be. But when it comes to the anarchy of the family or someone that you ask for an advice, then it becomes a family problem. You see what I'm saying? Because you went outside to ask for an advice or tried to get a third party to give you some type of clarity. That's when you make it family. Because you best believe that family member that you talk to also gonna gossip to somebody else. Guarantee it. So mind your business.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, again, as I was coming up, and that's the problem with this generation of parents, and they need to be mindful to when this adult conversation going on, it's the kids' duty to stay out of the parents, the adults' conversation, because that's why they acting so grown right now. Instead of back in the day, you say, "Hey, grown folks are talking. Y'all go in the other room, or y'all go outside." Ain't no more of that because they too busy in the social media.
No, and also when you include your child into a grown folks conversation, that's when you giving that child power to say any and everything to an adult, even if it's in a disrespectful manner. See, and we talked about this long time ago, and that
Yes,
goes
we
back.
did.
We
Yes, we
we
did.
we talk about when you want to socialize with your kids. When you want to have their first cocktail, you let them drink with you. You let them smoke with you. You let them party with you. You let them do in-house dating, in your home. You let them use your crib as a trap. You know what I'm saying? You let the boyfriend stay over there. When you break those household rules and regulations and the creed of parenting. It's a creed. It's an unwritten creed that you have when you have been taught by your. When I was taught, it was up to us to follow those guidelines. You feel what I'm saying? When you sit there and let your kids be involved with grown folks, conversations, everyday living, socializing, and communication. When I say communication, if you tell your child to go wash some dishes, I ain't washing them dishes. That's when
That's a problem.
it's a problem. That's when she's supposed to have no teeth in her mouth. In that order. See, I'm from a black family.
I was
I'm
raised by old school, so I
old school. I'm
totally
not. I'm
understand what
not
you're
about to
saying.
sugarcoat it
I
for no.
understand that.
I'm not gonna
I
sugarcoat it
understand
for
that.
no media. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for anybody. Y'all know you get bust in your mouth. Then you get on punishment. Then you get embarrassed because she's gonna tell her friends and her cousins and things like that. You know,
Right.
so it's very hard for me not to say anything when it comes down to parenting because I lived it on both sides. I'm a parent, but before I became a parent, I was a child. And one thing I really learned as me growing up and being a parent and a man that you don't talk back. And it took me a long time to understand that because my family tore into my head. I always talk about the little dips and the whips and stuff like that. And I thank God for it. Yeah, don't no child supposed to get it like that. But back then you had to because society was setting it up for me to do 30 years and 50 years or be a drug dealer and be um, not an asset to the community, but a problem and a victim at the same time. So, yes, those chastising from the neighborhood, me growing up in the gang, the whole nine. I mean, you know, everything happened for a reason. And if it wasn't for me going through those struggles and them trials and tribulations, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. I ain't the best man in the world. I'm not perfect, but I'm my own man. You feel me?
Right. Well, I'm just fortunate that me being the youngest out of seven kids, I didn't have to go through the experience that my older siblings went through. So I was fortunate to listen and observe before I even jumped the guns or what I could and what I couldn't do. So I'm just very fortunate with that opportunity, and I ain't have to go through all the struggles that when my brother, he was gang banging, and he just told me the ropes like, look, you don't want this. And I saw the outcome. He said, look, the thing I want you to do is that you go to school, get education. Nowadays, these young cats that's gang banging, they don't care what these young cats are doing because they influence them to do the opposite, get high, getting drunk, all types of stuff. Instead of saying, "Hey, go to school, young fella, get an education, get out this neighborhood, go away from school, get a get a degree, become something for yourself, raise your family, do the right thing as a black person."
Yeah, yeah, and that's politically correct.
Yeah.
But I'm politically incorrect.
To
And
do the
yes,
opposite.
no, 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 no. Everybody get taught to walk that right line.
Right.
That's in the know. But you have back then it was peer pressure. They used to use the word back in our day, peer pressure. Yes, to a certain degree. Yes, it's my own foolishness because when you know right from wrong and you still do wrong, that's stupidity. When you know it's wrong, but you did it anyway, you did it anyway. That's because you did it for two reasons. Now today they want likes and hearts and emojis.
Yeah.
Back then it was credibility. You know what I'm
Like, oh
saying?
man, that's the chief
You
there.
know,
Yeah, he's the big dude.
he the rah rah.
Right.
He wanted that type of look from that crowd. Me being in the streets and anybody that's on my Facebook Live can tell you, yes, it was an era, but that era is not for everybody. That era didn't that situation and all of that was for show, just to get likes, just to have some type of name for themselves. And if I would have known what I know today, I would have did the incognito thing. I would have maybe stayed in them books a little bit stronger. I might have worked a little bit harder in sports. I might have worked a little harder in just trying to be me. See, everybody want to be something that they not. You got to understand that. Hello, yes, I wanted to be the hood Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, you know, I didn't want to be. I wanted to beat the bullies up. You know what I'm saying? So I can be the neighborhood Popeye. You feel me? Because I know how I felt. You know what I'm saying? To be bullied. And if you stand your grounds, not saying you have to go get a gun, but like I say, you can whoop people with words today to make them look like an idiot. And his homeboys that's with him gonna look at him like an idiot.
I
You know what I'm
agree. That
saying?
is so 100.
Sometimes you don't need the physical. Everybody know you can fight, you can scrap. Everybody know a scared man know how to shoot a gun, but an educated man know how to talk his way out of anything. Excuse me, anything.
Mhm.
So what I want to do, I want to use common sense. in the sense that I have and the little education and the smarts I have, that's why I'm 46 today. Not saying that it was easy. I've been called everything up under the sun. But at the end of the day, I still rise, bro. That's all it is. You have to. I mean, Chris. I mean, you going through your thing. You married. You got kids. Nothing is easy.
It surely isn't.
You know,
Got to crawl
when you
before
was
you
a
walk.
kid, when you was a kid, you didn't always have steak and potatoes. You had to have oatmeal. Might had to have a mayonnaise sandwich, give or take. Peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and crackers, peanut butter and apple.
Hey, them things was good though.
That was, wasn't
Yeah.
it? But it cured that hunger. It might have not been that fried chicken that you wanted. It might not have been them at the time. My mom used to when I was growing up and the food was scarce. The last meal was the big pot of neck bones and white potatoes
with all the
with the
vegetables.
jiffy mixed
Oh
cornbread
boy.
and the last 2 pack of Kool-Aids. And you better sip.
You better sip. How you had to shake the Kool-Aid pack?
Right, pop it. You had to pop
There
it.
you
You
go.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But back then, we knew that was the last meal, and we had to let that stretch for the next 3 days until the book of snaps came through the mail.
There you go.
You feel me? So I know how I feel to be hungry, but I also know how to eat. And when you know how to eat, that means you know how to survive. That means you got to go out there and put on that suit and tie. Or you have to get your hair cut. You have to talk with lingo where people can understand you. I'm not saying you have to be like a white boy. Hey, how you doing? No, but talk like my granddad said. Talk like you got some damn sense.
And look into their eyes.
And look him in the eyes. Don't look down.
Right. That's what my mother used to
only
tell
thing
me.
he can say to you is yay or nay.
Right.
You're gonna get more nays than yays in your life, but the yays that you get, you cherish it. You embrace it. I don't care what it is. You gotta crawl for your walk. A lot of kids don't like, and a lot of adults don't like. When you get a job, you're gonna have to hump. You're not gonna come to no $75,000 a year job and not go hump for that money. When me now, I'm in construction. It's union pay. That's that money. But I can't sit around there and be lollygagging and smoking the Newport like I'm on the block. First and foremost, my skin color. And that's the first thing they want to do is embarrass a black man that's making that money. You see what I'm saying? And there ain't too many of us on the job.
No, not too many.
So I already know when you look around and you see nothing but Caucasian and they strong in that construction. Where I'm at, it ain't no time to bull jive. You trying to stay on as long as you can and be relevant, not belittling yourself as a man, but watch your surroundings, be able to work in an orderly fashion. And when you do get into a situation, don't be so quick to bust them people in the head. You whoop them with the words and you keep your job.
Okay. Well, how much time we got?
We still got 15, 20 minutes.
Well, good. We're going to segue on to the next topic. It's Black History Month. Right. So we're going to celebrate the Black History Month. So I'm excited about it. The movie Black Panther is coming out. Right. Everybody's going to see that. My outcome of that movie is going to turn out, it's going to be a very eye-opening.
You're talking about the fictional character?
Yeah, the character of Black Panther. Yes.
Yes. And who is it up under? Marvel or?
Yeah, Marvel.
It's up under Marvel.
Yeah, so everybody, I heard that the movie is Black Panther, I'm sorry, it's going to be packed. It's already packed, but because of the premiere Black Panther, so that's very powerful. So,
right. So I mean, all right, they did it. They actually got a black man as an action figure. I mean, a superhero. But okay, wow, Black Panther, a movie. But we had black heroes since the world has begun. Why take an action-packed picture and say, wow, Black Panther? We had Black Panthers since the ancient times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too quick off on movies like that because Now, just to satisfy a black person, we're going to make a black action figure and a black superhero, and we've been had, and then they doing it on history,
on Black
I mean
History
History
Month,
Month.
right? And that's a very
That's a
coincidence.
yeah, you know. Don't I mean if you're going to show a movie or make a movie about somebody black, let's talk about how the Ford family just used, Harold Washington Carver and maimed them so he can just make make them a graph of an engine. Let's talk about that. What about his reparations in that
You don't
company?
see that because a lot of
Because he
they
don't
take
have
it
no blood.
away.
It was taken away and they killed off his bloodline. You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the racist things that we still, the injustices that we go through today. Let's talk about today's Black history.
See, black.
Yes, they set the tone. They gave us a footnote, a blueprint, the whole nine. Let's utilize that. See, that's the thing. We could talk about all these great leaders. Okay, but what are the right now leaders that ain't sold out for that dollar or sold their people out? You got people in Libya is being killed for their organs just to sell to America.
And that's terrible.
And let's talk about that.
Don't nobody want to talk about
Let's
that.
talk
though.
about how they human trafficking. And they using black people to drive the trucks and park in Walmart. And they find all these half dead people in a semi truck with no food. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Black history.
All that stuff is a cover up.
Let's talk about these kids ain't got nothing to do but go up north and try to carjack. Because that's all they know is how to carjack. Let's talk about the right now Black history. We know that. They stole it from us. They tried to hide it from us. But see, they made Google and YouTube and a Wikipedia. Now they can't. Now they have to justify. You see, let's talk about that. All that extra, oh, he's flipping on cars and it's a panther. We've been had superheroes for years. Let's talk about the right now that haven't sold out.
Well, my superhero were my parents. They motivated me, and
that's in the dough.
That's all in the dough.
Okay, so, we get parents
because they motivated me into do better.
Right.
You know, get an education.
Right.
And I might have some bumps and bruises, go through trials and tribulations, and at the end of the day, I came out good as a family man and progress and so forth, teaching my son to become a young adult. And so he can start off his career, not start a job, his career. That's his difference.
But you also teach him a hobby.
Absolutely.
A hobby can become a business. You know, what is he interested in? See, these kids, only thing they need is somebody to just tap into that big walnut of theirs, go beyond all that big bad wolf or I'm the bad bee, that what these young ladies call themselves. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the coins, okay. Besides, you know what I'm saying? They talking about getting the coins.
Oh
okay, how you gonna get these coins? What is your game plan? What is your goals? What is your what's your strength? What's your weaknesses? See, you tap into that. See, we can talk about all this all day, but if it ain't nobody set forth to tap into those brains, we still here talking about the same thing over and over again. People have to get into their households before you can talk about anybody outside your household. You got to check your house first.
That's dealing with family businesses.
Family business.
Absolutely.
You know,
he say, she say.
Exactly. Gossip. You know, all of that. That's game. That's what's your main focus. What is your what is your arrow? Where are you going? Because all this extra stuff is just dead weight. If you focus on what you got going on in your life and you want it and you trying to persevere to another level, where your strength come in at? You have to understand, the order to get somewhere, you got to have a foundation. You got to have a map, a game plan.
And also the blueprint to start it off.
Exactly.
There you go.
And and,
All day long.
and that's true. So, you know, I call myself the realist. I'm not gonna sit here and try to um imagine or put something on that's not true. I'm not gonna do that. That's why they call me Ace the Real, because I'm keeping 100. And if it's something that I did, tell me so I can correct it. Because I ain't never scared of you know, constructive criticism. I don't have no problems with that. But don't try to belittle me, because I'm not passing judgment on you. That ain't who am I to judge? And my poop stink too. You feel me?
Yeah, you right
So
about
why?
that.
How could I pass judgment on you or say anything about you? That's your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. That's how you roll. Now, if you want to accept constructive criticism, come to me. If you ask me, I'm gonna give it to you. But if you don't ask me, I'm not gonna say nothing, because it ain't my business. First and foremost, mind your business, cause you got business of your own to tend to. Your stuff ain't clean. Your stuff ain't straight. So I'm not gonna sit here and dictate where you wrong or right at, because you your own brother's keeper. You your own man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And another thing, keep people out your business. Shut up. Females too. Stop gossiping. See, if you stop gossiping and pillow talking with that girl or the boy, because boys act like girls too.
Ooh,
They the
speak the
most
truth.
gossip.
Yeah, they are.
When they trying to get your boy a heads up, and but dude, you already know the business. Why is you tell it? Let him find that out.
Because it's gonna hurt them at the end of the
It's
day.
going because he gonna think that you got an ulterior motive. So the best thing for you to do, fall back and don't even hang out when it's time for
Just
them people.
detour the other
Yeah,
way. Just
detour that.
pretend you didn't even notice that.
Holler
Like,
at them on the phone, pass it by, what up? If y'all at a party, cocktail. But after that, beat it, because that eliminates your name from being in it. Because if you give any type of
because everything gonna fall back on
back
that
on
pump.
you,
Yeah, there you go.
so
Yeah.
shut up. That's how I feel.
Well, I want to give a shout out to my son, Kristen,
Mhm.
who just got picked as the acting what like the not the modeling, but the dancing group thing is up north. So he's there like 2 Sundays, the end of the end of
That's what's
February.
up. That's
So
what's up.
he's doing good. He just got picked today, so it was on some last minute. Let me see. Excuse me. So on the thing it says it says turn up to the party video shoot. Congratulations, you have been selected to perform the T Star. Shout out to T Star video. They're having a few key components listed below, which is February the 18th. It's going to be announced. But anyway, shout outs to my son who just got picked for the video shoot, dancing and
Yeah,
all
that's
types of
what's up. I
choreography.
mean,
So
and
that's
that's
what's
his
up.
hobby, right?
Yeah, he loved to
That
dance.
goes back to
He's
what I
just
said.
very active in everything.
Right. And that's the thing. If you keep your kids active into physical things,
There you go.
dancing, music, piano,
Sports.
uh, you can bag up off the sports. Yeah. That's easy to teach a child how
Yeah,
to play
because it's gonna
football and
come
basketball.
natural. It's gonna come natural.
That's in our blood. But when you try to teach a child something that's going to elevate his mind, that's going to intrigue the thirst of knowing, learning more about whatever it is. It could be. I know a little kid that love Legos, and he built houses with Legos. You never know his little piece. Just like a few years ago, um, in a school, they had a contest who was going to make the new city sticker. You know what I'm saying? It was a big controversy about that. But the point is, get them into arts, the real arts. Get them into history. You know what I'm saying? Um, Learn about people that they don't really learn about in grammar school or in high school. You know what I'm saying? Dig deeper into the ethnicity of who you are,
Right.
where you come from, where your bloodline is strong at. Why do you have melanin in your skin? Why is your serotonin so strong? Why is it so easy to cut down a black man instead of uplifting. See, them the things you need to teach the kids, because now it's going to intrigue them to search, to be a journalist, to be a reporter, to be in the, instead of being in front of the camera, in front of the mic, learn how to run it, just like our boy Earl over here, being the technical engineer.
Shout outs to Earl.
You know what I'm saying? This is knowledge. This is actually, the studio is a classroom. I don't know nothing about no reverbs and add-ins and ad-libs and nothing like that. See, that's that, and I went to school for communication radio.
I got my degree in it.
But I wanted to be in front of the, hey, this is,
I always wanted to be behind the scene, but now I'm on the camera. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I also did a radio show as well, so I'm getting used to it as well as I go.
But at the end of the day, I does this show to save one kid's life every time I get on the show. Because every time I do this show, it's one little fella, man, I heard you. See, you don't get the stuff that I get.
Oh, I get it.
I'm talking about, no, Chris, you ain't lived the life I live.
Well, I understand that.
Right. But so when I'm talking about that level.
Yeah, but when people sees, like with the social media, when they see it, they go, man, I seen you on Facebook.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I get it.
But see, think about this. You cut hair. There's a little dude that's out there living that life, but he always wanted to cut hair, but he's scared to say that he want to cut hair because people look at him, man, why you want to be a barber? It ain't about being a barber. It's the art. How to use your hands properly with knowing skin tones and textures and stuff like that. What fits on that blade? What to clean that blade? What type of chemical you can use in the hair without hurt? See, it's a safety. It's the skin. Women that want to do hair, you got to know textures. You got to know skin tones. You got to know colors. You got to know the roots. All of that. What will burn them? What chemical can burn them? What chemicals they can use? How far to put the flat irons on the head? See, technical things. See, yeah, everybody want to do hair. Anybody can just do their hair and make it look pretty, but to know the science and the art.
There's the know-how.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So anything that a child get involved with, I would rather for them to, hands-on. Little young boy, the first thing back then when I was growing up, they'd get us a plastic hammer and nail set where you put the little thing and knock it in the hole and it'll come out the bottom, and it teach you how to use the plastic, what was that, Rubbermaids. They used to have those little cheap things. Absolutely. You learn how to use your toolbox, where it sits up at. That's the ABC of learning carpentry. But then when you get to a point in 4th and 5th grade, remember back then we used to have the protractor and that compass and how to use it and count the numbers on it, what the protractor is for, to make a complete circle, and your angles, your left angles, your 45 degrees. See, things like that. If you get the kids involved with that, remember, all of that is numbers. That means you have to add, subtract, divide, multiply. See, that's another way of math. You use that measurement and you break it down into decimals. That means that's another form of fractions, right?
Right.
But see, if you go through the prop, it can't be always the teachers. It got to be the parents to at least give 45 minutes to an hour to go backtrack on all the stuff that they have learned in school. Just 1 hour.
And just
go back. You ain't got to, okay, where you have a problem in. Let's see if we can work it out. Let's talk about it. If it's social studies, kids just read the book just to read it. But back then when I was going, it was reading comprehension. You had to comprehend what you're reading. Not just Little Red Riding Hood and XOXO this and multiple choice. No, you had to define and find a way to tap in that child's mind so he can get it. So my thing, as you being a young teacher, you have to bring something exciting to the table with the curriculum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't like boring stuff.
Yeah,
Trust
and
and
that was the
believe it.
problem.
They don't like it. They
You know,
want
that was
they
the
like to turn up,
right.
but you got to use something to utilize their ability to
Yes,
turn up for.
you got to make them want it. You want them to be excited to come to Mr. Johnson's class, or Mr. Davis' class or Mr. Wright's class. You want them. See, that's the reason why I want the Boys and Girls Club, because that's another form of teaching life skills. Not always dragging you wrong, and no, give them an outlet to use their common sense. That means you have to show them the avenue to be a thinker, not just a computer or going by what you think is right, but what's right for them kids at that moment.
Right.
So but we got 3 minutes, and this is Ace the Real.
We got a few minutes left to give out shout outs. First and foremost, Reese and Kareem, just make sure you be here soon so we can be like a family again. But shout outs to 100K and Maurice Wall, aka Maurice Walls. And also Black History Month, celebrate, utilize it, educate each other in the midst of it.
Education for history education. Learn about it. Go to DuSable Museum and learn about the cultures. Get some of them little nappy head boys and take them to the surrounding areas that have history. And I'm Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com. Another perspective. I want to thank y'all for tuning in.
And I'm Chris Davis, aka Smooth Cuts. And this is Another Perspective. Peace and love. Hey, everybody.